Hey folks, it's Gray here. Have you ever been, either on a hike or in the woods or whatnot, and it's just been one of those rainy days where everything is wet around you, and you're a bit hungry and you want something warm outside of some snacks or something that you might have in your pack. So I decided today to kind of look at, you should always be somewhat prepared in regards to if you're ever going into the woods, just be prepared for about anything. If you get turned around, you get lost, someone gets hurt, whatever the case may be. But we're going to focus in today on just getting a warm meal in your belly out in the woods because you're tired. It's cool and cold out. You got your poncho off. You're trying to, relax a little bit, but you want something warm to eat. So what we're going to do is we're going to, look around and see ways that you could possibly start a fire. But honestly, folks, everything is saturated. There's been some heavy rainstorms today in Florida. Everything is pretty much wet. And like I said, luckily, having a fire kit in here, and if you guys remember a while back, and I need to continue that that series because I got a couple more to add to it, but your 5 C's, and one is combustion, and having a proper, fire gear, fire starting gear to create combustion is important. So we're going to see how that comes into play. And another thing, what I would suggest, and this is simple stuff. A lot of you folks know of little different tips and tricks with like dryer lint that weighs almost nothing that you can kind of store in your pack, or some sort of dry material for kindling to get a fire going, or at least enough material to heat possibly some dry wood. Now there's also other ways to do that depending on your environment and whatnot and how saturated things are, if it's winter and things are just covered in snow, or if you're in Florida, which is can be a very wet environment. A lot of times it's dry. So that works in my favor. But all in all, we'll kind of look at how I'm going to start my fire and heat something up and cook it and eat it. I got a couple snacks in here that I can ponder what I'd like to eat. And before I basically, to be honest with you folks, I usually go on these hikes for health reasons and whatnot, just to keep myself active. And every once in a while, I'll get caught in a situation like this where it's raining. Or everything is just wet, and when you're 4, 5, 6 miles in, and you still have a ways to get out, you kind of just want some energy outside of just eating some peanut butter or energy bar. Maybe you just want something hot to eat. So, all right, enough of me rambling. Let's kind of go into what I'm going to do to start myself a fire and what kind of gear that I'm going to be using to do this. Because another thing is in Florida, sometimes, depending if it's survival, it's a whole different ball game, but other times you kind of want to be pertinent to your surroundings. You don't want to create some sort of massive fire that's going to burn down the woods. So you have to kind of be conscientious about things like that. All right, let's get into it. So let's say you just don't have anything on you that's dry, you can't find anything, and you find yourself a tree like this. The outside, of course, is always going to be wet here. You know what I mean? The first few layers are always going to have some wetness to it. But see, stuff like this is very loose, and then behind here, you look at this stuff is relatively dry. So you can use that for flame. Now I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side. And the further you come into this stuff, if you look into it, you can get some dry wood out of here and get some kindling out of this material inside here. So think about that depending on where you're at. Like I said, once you get beyond some of this bark here, you can get into some material that's going to be dry, and you can use that for kindling to start your fire. Now, depending on the size of fire that you're looking at, of course. But we're going to kind of get into my pack and what I have in there and what I'm going to use to get my fire going here. And just to give you guys an idea here, you can kind of see, let's kind of look at this stuff. It's just very wet. And you can see how wet all the material is from all the rain that we've had today. And when you kind of pan around a little bit, most things are going to be wet, especially when you get saturated all day. It's been one of those days where it's just rain, rain, and rain. So what I've done here is I've cleared out some material, anything that could be possible flame, to get down to the dirt, nice dry dirt, get all that wet stuff out. And this is where I'm going to set up my little kind of rig that I'm going to use to start my fire to cook my food. So this is the gear that I'm going to be using in this video. Basically, it's kind of like a little stove. I've been carrying this thing for quite some time. To me, it's lightweight, it's very thin, so it packs easy in my pack, and very easy to set up. So let's go ahead, pull this thing out so you guys can see technically what it is. And like I said, this thing is super easy to set up. Bada bing, bada boom. You can see however way you want to set it up. And then I'm going to stick my little thing on top of here to kind of give it its form. And that's that. All right, so on the way while I was hiking today, I found a couple pieces of wood that were very dry. And I also have some fire plugs and just random fire starting things in there, just because I always carry a little extra of everything, you know, sealed in a bag in case it rains. Of course, you want to keep this as dry as possible. So basically all I'm going to do is take some of these chunks of wood that I got here, throw that into there, just enough to get something going here. And then I'm going to take, I could take one of these fire plugs. Basically, you guys have seen them where you kind of twist them and whatnot, but I got a better idea. Let's look into my fire kit and see what would make my life so much more easier. And this is why I say it's always good to be prepared. So I have, let's say, some discs here that I could use, but I've told you guys in the past, this stuff here is amazing stuff. And this is that fire paste, extremely flammable. So let's kind of use that. Sometimes you just want to get a fire going as soon as possible and as fast as possible. So I'm going to throw a little bit of this fire gel on here. Nice and easy. Close that back up. And as I told you guys in the past, you know, sure, you can use a ferrocerium rod, which I got one of those in this fire kit, but why not just use a lighter if you have it? You know what I mean? If you have a lighter, why not use it? So let's kind of pull out the lighter and just use that. Look how fast that fire starts, folks. Now all I can do is I can take some residual wood and put that in the fire and get it going. But honestly, from what I have right now in that fire, I really don't need much more to heat some water up to cook my food. So you guys are probably wondering, what is Grey going to be cooking, right? What's Grey got going on? But before I do that, I want to take some additional wood, some of this dry wood that I've kind of, you know, picked off this thing here, and kind of break it up a little bit. Kind of toss it in there, just to have enough flame in there and let that catch. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here now and let that fire kind of do its thing while I get my food ready. Now, of course, and this is not a shameless plug or nothing, but I am going to be eating some Nutrient Survival, their hearty lasagna. It's just very easy and convenient to take on a trail just because it's lightweight and whatnot. So I'm going to come over here to my pack, and some water filtration stuff that I keep on the top of that, outside of my water filtration that I have built into my pack here, as you can see there. But I'm going to pull this out, which has water that I got stored in here, nice potable water, and bring out my cup that I'm going to use to boil the water in. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cup on here, and basically what I need is about a half a cup of water. I'm going to boil just a little bit more, just to have a little extra, just in case. But a half a cup of water takes no time to boil. And I love the Pathfinder stuff. It works great for me. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that, if you use the Pathfinder or whatnot. Now, I can put a cap on this if I want it to go a little bit faster, if you keep the cap on you. I have it in the side pouch of my bag, but all in all, like I said, I like this, and I can feel the heat already from this, so it shouldn't take a matter of no time. so now that the water has come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and add my hearty lasagna to that pack. Just going to pop that open there. And you're probably maybe wondering why I'm wearing some gloves, because when I'm touching this is very hot and I need something to protect my hands. You don't want to have a situation where you're going to run into where you get burned or whatnot. So always wear something that's that, or if you have some other forms, or if you want to grab this to the side and set it down so it doesn't get hot. I'm going to go ahead and just pour my food right into here. Just like that. And some people ask me, how do you cook nutrient survival? Out in the woods, I do it a little bit differently. I'll see those coals down there. It's a nice residual warm kind of thing, and it just kind of keeps things motivated. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my spoon, which a lot of you folks have been following me for some time. I always make sure that I carry a spoon with me in my pack now. Now, my favorite spoon is a simple spoon, but effective. And now that spoon is going to be one of these really nice long spoons, because a lot of times if you have your mountain houses, or let's say your nutrient survival, or any of those bigger bags, you want to be able to kind of get in there and stir stuff up without it getting too hot. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up right there, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit there for probably 2 or 3 minutes and let this just kind of simmer, and then pull it off the fire, let it wait a couple more minutes. Drain off any excess liquid that I have if I have a little bit too much or too less, and then I'm going to have a meal. All right, so you can see there, not too much residual water in there. It's a nice kind of like that hearty mix, nice and hot. I'm going to go ahead and put it to the side. This is going to be very good. I'm really looking forward to this meal because it's been one heck of a day. Don't mean to eat on camera, but I'm starving. One good thing, again, about nutrient survival, it is nutrient-dense food, so that's always a plus. You're not just eating empty calories and whatnot, you know? And it's always nice to have something warm in your belly, especially when you got 4 or 5 miles ahead of you. Give you a little extra boost of energy, you know? Let me finish this up real quick. I'll tell you, one of my happy places outside of being in the garden is being in the woods. It's like that. As soon as it hits your stomach, you start feeling better. You know what I mean? Anyways, folks, that's just kind of I don't know if this video is beneficial to some of you folks out there in regards to just, make sure that when you're in the woods that you're prepared for just about anything, just because you just never know what might happen. Speaking of which, let me ask you guys, since a lot of you guys have taken the time to watch this video in its entirety, let me ask you, my viewers, can you please leave me a comment down below? Would you guys like to see what's in my pack, kind of like a get home bag, bug out bag kind of update 2023 kind of thing? See how I have everything, what's the word I'm looking for, compartmentalized, or however they say that word, but organized. How I have my bag organized, what I have in my bag, what type of gear I have in my bag, and what it's for and whatnot. Some folks may get an idea of that might be beneficial to them or might help them, when they're building out their bag or updating their bag or whatnot, because it's something that I look up anywhere between 6 to every 12 months. I kind of reassess the bag and look in there, see what could I replace with technology, anything that's lighter that I could use outside of something that's heavier that I already currently have in there. And also, looking at the food and medications and that kind of stuff that I have in the bag, stuff like that. To be honest with you, bugging out is like that last worst case, scenario or whatnot. And when it comes to that, folks, it's just having a bag. I don't know how long that'll last you. It's nice to have a bug out bag for emergencies in regards to if you get evacuated or if you have to move from your home, but there's no way that you're going to be able to carry everything with you. So my main bag that I take everywhere I go, it's in the back of my vehicle. It's always with me. It's my get home bag. And it's kind of like my all-in-one kind of thing, you know what I mean? I do have other bags and whatnot, but that being said, if you're interested in seeing what's in this bag, what I have attached to it, what's inside of it and all the other gear that's associated with it, let me know down in the comments. And we'll do here the next couple of weeks, we'll do an update and kind of break down everything in the bag, how I have it set up, why I have the things in that bag the way I do, from navigation to medical to food to the 5 C's and so on and so forth. And maybe it'll give you guys some ideas if you're new to prepping or new to putting a bag together or something to keep in your vehicle at all times. I'm a little bit I want to say over the top when it comes to things. My bag weighs about 23 pounds now. When I have my water bladder filled, that'll also add some weight to that. So I try to stay under that roughly 25 pounds. I'm a 275 pound 6'1" guy, so to me it doesn't really affect me. But for someone with a smaller stature, might want to look at the weight as an issue and kind of build their bag from there. Anyways, enough of me rambling on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You never know what kind of videos we're going to get into here on GreyMan Prepping's channel, right? My channel. But I'm going to enjoy the rest of this afternoon. It is a cloudy, gloomy day. Very gloomy, rainy day. And but I still have fun. Still enjoying nature. Still being out here. Still doing the things. Other than that, folks, remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in a rebound. And God bless every single one of you.